Hello and welcome to Starship Sofa's HQ. Today we're going to look at the length of a novel, which is for you the sweetest point, the sweet point where we can get the best novel. Is it The Tomb? Yeah, look at that thing there. Is it this big bulky thing, or is it a little dinky little tiny weeny one like that? Length of a novel. Which one is your favourite? So yes, hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about the length of a novel. Which one is the best one for you, or which one do you think is the is there an overall correct size? I personally think there is. So, and I'll tell you what it is. It's not one of these. No way. And I'm just using Stephen Donald's there. You know, which one's this one? Against All Things Ending, Thomas Covenant. I'm just using that as an example. But there's no way on God's green earth I would walk past that in the shop and pick it up. Do you know what I mean? It's just, for me, too much. There'll be too much in there, too much of the world that I want to kind of visit. Do you know? Do you like that? Do you know what I mean? Do you like getting absorbed in a book and getting lost in that and not going to another story? You know, having to like wade through this for sometimes probably weeks. Do you know what I mean? If you're a slow reader. That's like a lot of commitment for one author to, you know what I mean, to kind of spend their time on. I don't think it is. I think it's almost wrong. Yes, little books like that, and I'll tell you why I prefer little books. And I'm going to give you a kind of a ballpoint figure and a ballpoint, you know, publisher, so we can kind of go and have a little look. I honestly think a ballpoint figure is 200 pages. This one, Isaac Asimov's The Naked Sun, is, and it's, yes, there's small text and there's small font and everything like that. 186 pages. 186 pages. I just read, you know, double star with it, an Asimov one as well. That one I just checked before. 136. Granted, small font. Do you know what I mean? Might push it up there to 200. 200 pages, that's it. That's the world created, gone. It won a Hugo Award. Do you know what I mean? And I'll tell you why they're good. And I'm going to go as well through, say, science fiction masterworks. Use these as the kind of, you know, the benchmark. And most of these are kind of the 200. Yeah, you might get some going up to 300. But when these were coming out, you know, that 200 kind of area was a sweet spot. Now it seems, you know, and especially in fantasy as well, we've got these tombs that just take so much time. I'm not keen on them at all. You know, what is your kind of reasoning? My reasoning is to bring back, you know what I mean, these kind of 200-page novels it was this book here, Jack Vance, The Blue World. Now this is like to say one of those glance masterworks. Like say, we'll use that as a benchmark, you know, a modern day kind of publisher. 190 pages, so that's the size of the font, and it's 190 pages. Now this is where it comes in. This is my key factor, I think, depends on how good the writer is. Can that writer get over in such a short space the world he's created, or does it need, and again, I'm not picking on Stephen Donaldson, does it need that kind of waffle? You know, and there's actually another reason as well, which I'll get to, but for this first one, does it need that kind of waffle to make that kind of good book? And like I say, this is where I kind of realized you should be able to kind of put out a book there, 200 pages, and have the whole world set and it perfect. And this Blue World by Jack Vance does that perfect. Within a couple of pages, he's laid down the society. His writing is tight. It is so taut. It is so clever. He's wrote it all down. The whole world is there. He's given it up straight away. He doesn't need page after page after page. You know what I mean? Your mind gets it. You know what I mean? Your mind's actually quite good. Your mind gets what Jack Vance is saying, the world he's creating straight away. And this is a little complex world. Do you know what I mean? A society where the inhabitants of this kind of water planet were descendants from a spaceship that kind of, you know, was captured and took off, and they had to flee some penal colony prison, and they crash landed on this planet, and this is like the descendants have kind of made their life on this planet. Now, the whole social structure, the whole, you know, the living on lily pads, all that's done in this, and it puts it over brilliant. And like I say, 180 odd pages, 190 to the very end. I'm halfway through that, and I don't need any more explanation. My mind's making it up as it goes along. I'm charging through this. The world's just there. Jack Vance has just painted this world, and I'm just off on it. It doesn't need wadges of words to describe it. That's one reason. Do you know what I mean? Look at Arthur C. Clarke. Just brings in the books, brings them in. There, 224, A Fall of Moondust. There, whoa, now that's a big one. Whoa, I've just read Rendezvous with Rama, doing another show. You know, I reread that, and it's 189 pages. It is a fantastic story. Do you know what I mean? You can't get better than that. It won the Hugo Award and a Nebula Award. So there's one more reason why I think as well these should come back, but they don't, and I think that's down to the writer, who's now getting a bit bigger, has a first couple, and I think those Harry Potter books are a kind of great example. You know, the first one that came out was a little kind of shelf of a book like that, skinny little book, and I kind of Chamber of Secrets, I think maybe. The very last one, you're talking tombs, where I think an editor is not going to tell a writer to kind of, you know, a big writer like that, is not going to mention, you know, is not going to have the kind of sway or the influence. I think once you get kind of an established, you can start putting them out how you think, you know, how a writer thinks it should be, without too much of an editor getting in. And I think an editor needs to get into these books and strip them bare. Do you know what I mean? Just to get them down. Do you know what I mean? I mentioned Anthem, you know what I mean? And oh, Neil Stephenson's Anthem. Do you know, just a mighty tome that didn't need to be there at all at that size. Do you know what I mean? So once I think a writer gets established and starts, you know, has a lot of power, a lot of sway, an editor isn't going to say, take that to that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it might be 400 pages the writer brings in, but an editor isn't going to say, I need a half of it missing. Where in the olden days, the words were so sparse, but the worlds they created are just mind-blowing with just a little bit of, you know, words on the page. Sub 200 is the sweet spot for a novel. Do you agree? Please let us know. Comments down the bottom. That would be fantastic. Until next time, I would just like to say goodbye from me. I hope you enjoyed that show. Please think about subscribing. You will get the shows each and every time I release them. And why not check out the videos? Worst science fiction books I have ever picked. Oh, they're there. Check it out. And while you're on, subscribe to the newsletter. You get Starship Sofa's Volume 1 free. Fantastic writers in there. Just sign up for the newsletter and you'll get that.